Just a real quick update for everyone regarding the Texas litigation. There was a lot of ping pong this week, back and forth of, the state, slowed down our lawsuit. We filed a response, blah, 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 blah. Key takeaway here is next Friday, we will know. But for now, everybody that has products in Texas, you're good to continue selling them until next Friday, when we'll hear what the update is and the ruling is from the judge. But for now, everything is all good as it pertains to the most recent litigation. Now, there's also the Supreme Court ruling. I expect to have a legal opinion done by our attorney very shortly, which we will be more than happy to share out. I'm going to send it out to our Hifa CEOs and then let them distribute it from there. But I mean, the key takeaway is for those of you that care about Delta 8 and have those products, the opinion basically is you are good to continue selling them at your own risk. But I will have that letter for everybody a little bit later, early next week. And the Hifa CEOs will share it out to folks within their network. And it just gives you an opinion. And from there, you decide and do what you wish with it. So that being said, Dwayne, take us off.
Thank you,
Tell us
Brad.
about it.
I appreciate it. I don't have a ton as far as juicy, meaty stuff. The House was out this week. Members were home. As most of you kind of heard, the Farm Bill passed the week before, and it really took its toll on a lot of members, committee staff. And so that is now sent over to the Senate, where I fully expect it to die, but we'll see. So this week was more so of really talking and hitting the pavement with staff. That's what a lot of the Hifa consultants did, reporting back what we're hearing, also what the staff are needing, some of the polls that Hifa's put out, some of the white papers, as well as letter to the editors that have been sent by you guys. We've been sharing with members, staff back in their district, as well as back up in DC, making sure that they see it. It's going to be a very interesting next couple of weeks. Yes, it's going to be a very interesting next couple of weeks. I know that everybody's interested in, of course, the bar bill, but where we go from there. You've got a lot of members who are not only getting educated on the bill, but want to make sure that the bill is done right. You've got a lot of committees that are now, working in a bipartisan fashion to make sure that they have a scope. And then you've got a current administration that is sending out what they think a regulatory framework should look like. So whenever you get all those people, none of them have egos, in a room, that's a good thing. That means something's cooking. And we're just going to have to wait and see. And I will say, though, Hifa will be at the table. We will definitely be a resource for any member of Congress, Republican, Democrat, House, or Senate, as this moves forward. So I said a lot to say not much happened this week. We gathered, we educated, and then we get back to it next week. Brian, I turn it over to you.
Yeah, and I guess some other little movement pieces for everyone to know is we've been continuing to work over members to become co-signers onto the or co-sponsors onto the initial bar bill that is set to come out next week. Date and time TBD, but as Dwayne said, everyone was out of town this week. So that kind of slowed things down a bit, but it didn't slow down our engagement with members of Congress. We picked up one or two folks that sound like they're going to end up becoming co-signers and or co-sponsors and federal talk. Dwayne always
It's federal talk, baby. Hey, and what if we started talking about original co-sponsors?
Ooh.
Those are the guys that get on before the bill's even introduced.
Original co-sponsors. We have picked up one or two original.
Oh, dude, it's all jargon, man.
You guys know what I'm talking about. So we did have a really good week in that regard. There's quite a few groups that are out there with their own opinions and thoughts and feelings who are running around the hill doing their thing. Happy to hear any feedback from any of those groups. If you guys want us to help on anything, if you have any concerns in the bill, we're always wide open. Doors always wide open to have conversations with folks that might have differing opinions on what could be in this bill. So that being said, big announcement for everybody next week. So next Friday's call is getting moved to Thursday. So next Thursday, at I believe it is 4 p.m., we are going to be doing this same call just a day earlier. We are actually going to be joined by a special guest. We will have none other than Congressman Andy Barr join us next Thursday at 4 p.m. here. So immediately after this call, we're going to send around an updated invite with the time and the schedule and all the things. So please, 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 this will be a very important call for the industry.
Mhm.
Andy Barr is going to take questions. He's going to be talking through portions that are in the bill that will likely be dropping between Monday and Thursday of next week. Maybe it might get bumped into the next week. We'll see. Weeks tend to do this in Congress. But the important piece here is Congressman Barr has taken time out of his busy, busy schedule, and he's going to be joining us next Thursday to answer questions. So we highly encourage everyone and ask everyone to share the invite out amongst your various groups. We want to be able to provide the congressman who has been so great to this industry the opportunity to speak to a lot of folks that are interested in protecting the hemp industry. And he's going to be fielding a lot of questions from folks that we may have about the bill and things like that. So just want to throw that really big announcement out there. Again, next Thursday at 4 p.m., Congressman Andy Barr is going to be joining us on our rescheduled call. We're going to do next week's Friday call on Thursday at 4 p.m. So,
I can't wait to get back my Friday. I appreciate that. Also, Brian, like you're absolutely right. I mean, Congressman Barr, is definitely, been on the forefront, been listening to industry, talking across the aisle, talking to other members of Congress. Did you have something, Brian?
oh no, I'm just
Oh, no, talking to other members of Congress, and now he's going to be talking to you. The biggest thing we can do is be a resource as this moves forward. Barr can only take it so far, just like Baird could only take it so far, just like Comer could only take it so far, just like Senator Paul could only take it so far, just like Senator Klobuchar can only take it so far. Congresswoman Craig can only take it so far. We need you, right? And him taking time out of his schedule to talk to you guys, get feedback, answer questions. That's the first step. Outside of that, we need more engagement and taking it up another notch. So looking forward to next Thursday at 4 p.m. Brian, I think we got to say it like 10 more times for the end of this call because someone's going to be like, I didn't hear next Thursday at 4 p.m. From, for Andy Barr to jump on the call. So what else do we have?
I have confirmed we have fixed the Q&A feature on the chat. So that problem has been solved. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to type it into the chat. But in case you haven't heard, next Thursday at 4 p.m., we're going to have Congressman Barr on our call. Everyone is highly encouraged to join and get your questions ready. But that being said, while people populate the Q&A with questions, if there are any, I yield over to Rach. I don't know, Rachel, if you have anything you want to pop in and add for the masses.
Hi guys. Sorry I don't have camera. I'm coming off of being a little ill. That being said, we're looking for a number of more people to sign LTEs with the new bill coming out. So please send us a message on the website. I will drop that link in here below. We've had a number of stories this week again, so I'll share some of those links here as well and attach to the or into the follow-up email this evening. Other than that, we're just going to be updating our call to action language. So encouraging everyone to be sending new messages next week once this bill language has dropped. Other than that, those are our top lines, and I'll pass it back, Brian.
Yeah, thank you, Rachel. Something else that's really important for everybody in the industry to also know. There was an economic impact study that was done. It was funded by a number of our CEOs, and it was done, gosh, I don't know, about a month and a half ago, Rachel. But That study has moved a number of American jobs that are impacted by hemp to the hemp industry to just south of 500,000. Tremendous amount of economic impact. We knew those numbers were high, but we've been going off of the old 2023 numbers. It seems to me that in the span of from when the last economic impact study was done from 2023 to 2026, 2023 to 2026, it seems as if the hemp industry's footprint in America has only doubled, and I imagine it's only going to continue to grow. This is going to be one of the fastest growing sectors in America once it's properly regulated. That is just something that's really important. We're going to be sharing out early next week a number of talking points and things because we do need to make sure everyone is up to date with what those talking points are. So that being said, why don't we dive right into some of the questions? I will take the first question. Dwayne, how do you feel about the guidance memo the administration set forth this week concerning various intoxicating cannabinoids? We addressed that. I think we addressed it on last week's call or prior to that. But the key takeaways from that was we view it more as a DEA posture. It's no way in binding or in written law. The federal court has ruled that converted products are legal under the Farm Bill. So that's something that's really important for folks to know. And what is perceived as the move against HHC, it is to get into alignment with UN standards, as it has mainly been, or it has been a much larger export product for a lot of folks to go outside of the United States. So the way we view it is just that. And again, the most important piece here is that the federal court has ruled that converted products are legal under the Farm Bill.
I will say, Brian, Ryan asked, where can we access the study for sharing with our congressional representatives?
I actually was just trying to find the darn thing on my computer so I could drop it into the chat. Rachel, do you happen to have it handy?
I was doing the same, so let me find it and I'll drop it below shortly.
While we're doing that, I'll answer the info at Shop Hemp Connections. Is this upcoming call next Thursday for the federal update or for what's going on in Texas? Next Thursday at 4 o'clock, that will be a federal update featuring Congressman Andy Barr. Andy Barr is set to drop his bill dealing with hemp on a federal regulatory framework. Andy Barr has also been reaching out to members of Congress to get original co-sponsors before that bill drops. So next Thursday at 4 o'clock will be a federal call.
It will be a federal call. We're going to have Andy Barr on. We're going to answer all things federal. But as soon as the congressman is done with us, we're going to dive right in and continue with any other updates and continue doing some Q&A. This next Thursday is going to be all about Congressman Barr and all things federal. But there will be some updates that I could touch on for everybody, especially in Texas. And for those of you that wanted access to the study, Rachel just dropped the Zoom link in for next week. So next Thursday's call, which is at 4 p.m. featuring Congressman Barr, is in the chat. So you guys can sign up on that now and share out to the masses. And we also immediately after this call, we're going to share and we're going to send around an email update. We're also going to include our graphic that we put together so you guys can also share it on socials. I think, can I share this graphic here? Yes. Oh my God, I can. Cool. Just dropped in the graphic into the chat as well. So you guys should have that there to download.
I will say we've been getting a lot of questions. I totally get it, guys. They want insight on what exactly is in the bill. I just want to reiterate, we at Hifa never want to get in front of the congressman, right? When the congressman introduces that bill next week, he'll have a potential HR number depending on what day he introduces it. And that's where you can go and find and read the bill. There are drafts that have been put out there. I will say those drafts may or may not be the most up to date, but I want to be respectful of the congressman and the hard work he's done along with his staff. So I don't want to nail in anything that it says A, B, C, and D. We have a good idea what the bill says, but this is the congressman's rollout, so I want to be respectful of that.
Yeah, yeah, of absolutely for sure. And again, all the things that we have discussed, they are generally going to be what is in the bill, but there might end up being a couple other things that get added in from what we've seen and others have seen. Just know that. Rachel, is that the yeah. So Rachel just dropped in the economic impact study. It's the document that says a preliminary assessment of U.S. cannabinoid market growth. So that economic impact study is in the chat for everyone to take a look at and share with their congressional members. What will the bill be saying about semi-synthetics? How do we address these? That's from Christine Nannon. Did you answer that one already?
Yeah, I want to keep it vague for the congressman when he gets on, and he can go. And what we'll do, Christine, is we're going to save that, and we'll add that to the list of questions that the congressman can answer once he gets on next Thursday at 4 p.m.
But I think the important thing for everybody to at least have ease is, from what we've seen in the current draft that's been floating around, so long as it is a naturally occurring cannabinoid in the plant, it will be protected.
Yep. Going with Barbara. Hi, Barbara. Is there any immediate action items we should be sharing with our congressmen and senators? We have a great relationship with Vyndham, Griffith, and Warner. I think the impact study is one of the best things that you can share with these members. I'm going to cheat a little bit and give a little insight. I've talked to Griffith's office. He's a subcommittee chair. He's wanting to hold hearings. He wants to get this done. He's been along with, Barr and Angie Craig and Baird and Comer. I mean, he's been a great champion on this. And VC, ranking member on ENC. You've got some good guys there, but just looking at the economic impact, I think that's the economic impact and the polling, Brian, that would be the things that I would want to get in front of members because, there's primary seasons and districts being redrawn and everything else up in the sand. So, getting them as much information because this is an election issue. I firmly believe that this is an election issue.
And to your point, Dwayne, on the polling, guess what? I'm going to drop the updated or the most recent national poll that we did. I'm going to drop that into the chat. Seems like we do that often, but it doesn't hurt to continue doing that. I keep dropping it into the wrong one. Here we go. There's the national polling memo. And then I will again drop in the graphic for Congressman Barr joining us next Thursday at 4 p.m.
Gam, Dwayne, I think I saw you on the highlight video from the Cheers event. Did you learn anything? I don't know what you're talking about, sir or ma'am. I was never there. I was at home walking my dog. Life was good. I'm always gathering information and making sure that I push our initiatives forward. So that's all I can say to that. Chris brought up another good point. Is energy and commerce the new path forward, or is the Department of Ag USDA still a viable path? Is an extension what we are wanting while the new proposed regs or rules are being implemented? Chris, yes, maybe, yes. Energy and commerce has always been the correct path. If you remember, Chairman G.T. Thompson on the Ag Committee ceded authority way to appropriations and then also said that the plant is the jurisdiction. I'm sorry, the plant is a jurisdiction of Ag. Anything dealing with the plant is a jurisdiction of energy and commerce. This goes back to when we had the fly-in January and we were pushing for an extension. And then came back and they, the members of Congress are like, we don't want to do just a straight extension. You need to put a regulatory framework together. We're doing none of that. Andy Barr's leading the charge on that, correct? That jurisdiction will go to energy and commerce. Now, one of the good things about that jurisdiction is the subcommittee chair of energy and commerce is Morgan Griffith, the one I just talked about being a champion, as well as VC is the ranking member on the Dem side. So that's a good thing. And so as they're working on that, I don't think it's breaking news, Brian, to talk about the two-pronged approach. We're fulfilling our duty of showing members of Congress that we have a regulatory framework that needs to be marked up. And if they want to pass it and send it over to the Senate and get it to the president's desk in the next 2 or 3 weeks, great. That's not how Congress works, but we can dream. If that while that is going on, we are also saying if you don't have enough time to get all of this done, here's a year extension or a 2 year extension waiting that can move very quickly and should have support, because I think when you go to members of Congress to say we don't want to kill, $40 billion, $40 billion industry, 40 billion plus industry, we don't want to kill over 300,000 jobs. Here's an extension while we continue to work on it. I think members of Congress could be sympathetic to that.
Is there an estimated date of the bill's introduction? Thank you from Addison. The time frame could be early next week, could be late next week. For all we know, it could be the following week. We are at the mercy of Congress at times,
Yes.
and we also view it's better to get it right than fast and wrong. And trust us, we have been spending the last 2.5, 3 months. I mean, we really started diving into some draft legislation way back into February.
Mhm.
And here we are right now. It's been I've seen probably about 9, 10 different draft edits between, what the White House could have been working on, what Congressman Barr, what others. I mean, there's been a lot of language that have been taken from other places and included, and a lot of voices have been heard. In conversation with some folks from the alcohol industry on, why they initially, wanted, the ban to take place. They said they felt like it wasn't an even playing field between hemp and them. And I asked for them to expand upon that. What does that mean? Well, taxes. Okay. All right. We're cool with having an even playing field on that regard, so long as you're not trying to tax us out of existence, especially on the beverage side with 20-cent taxes per milligram. That's a market killer. That's an industry killer. That's not really fair, I think. Other things were ID. Well, guess what? We have always supported 21 plus. We've always supported no marketing to kids. There's a lot of alignment in what they want and what we want. And I think another one was driving impairment. And that's something that we also agree with. If you're driving under the influence, you should absolutely be pulled over and treated similarly to how you are on alcohol. And I believe that was included in Congressman Barr's bill, was that. And a number of states already have the ability to do that. So we do want an even playing field and a fair playing field also. I also think the alcohol industry is taxed too much. So, there is that part. That being said, I think we have time for a couple more questions, right?
Yeah, let me chime in. There's a lot of different people who are chiming in. I know Brian says alcohol. There's suppliers. There's wholesalers. There's everything. And the one thing that I continue to tell all of them, and Hifa's in agreement, is as long as we're pushing to federally regulate this, right, with great oversight, we can all keep talking. And so for us at Hifa, whatever that looks like, we want to be inclusive. Now, if people start getting sharp elbows, that's a different conversation at a different time. But for right now, it is what is the best thing that can get into past the House, past the Senate, into the president's hands and signed into law. Like that's where we're operating from. And also, a lot of these members, and I've heard this from them, you guys have heard it, they want this to be sold safely. They don't want anything on their hands because they just rush something through. And I have literally heard that from Republican, Democrat, House, Senate, through and through, where they're like, we want, if we're going to do this, we need to do it right. Because if we don't and we leave a gray area, that's going to look really bad on us. And we're going to have to come back. And at that point, we have no sympathy about shutting down the industry.
Oh, wow. Other exciting news. For next Thursday's call with Andy Barr at 4 p.m., I'm going to drop in a new graphic that has QR codes because I hear a lot of people really like these QR codes. So, we now have a graphic that has a QR code on it so that you can register for the call. So the most recent graphic that was just dropped in, it says with QR code. There you go. Now you have it. I think, Dwayne, we have time for one more. Yeah.
Yeah. Chris writes, can we make it so gas stations can't sell cannabinoids?
Sounds to me like that is a states' rights issue. And it sounds to me like you don't ever want the federal government to make a one size fits all rule. I think that is something that states absolutely should take up. In fact, I find it insulting when other industries refer to a lot of the very honest, all of the honest businessmen and women that we do work with day in and day out as the gas station weed guys. I think that's highly offensive to people that are building legitimate businesses that employ 10, 5 people, 20 people, 400 people. These guys try day in and day out. They follow the rules. They self-regulate for an industry that does not have a mandate outside of some states, 21 plus. These guys are already self-selecting to do 21 plus. They've already chosen to not make their products be something that can be marketed to kids. This sounds to me like this is an issue that needs to be taken up with states if that is something you're absolutely passionate about. I think that we should be treated apples to apples to how alcohol and tobacco are treated. And I think this is also a states' rights issue and something that should be taken up at the state level.
Yep. Well, guys, thank you very much for tuning in this week. Remember, next Thursday, 4 p.m., who we got, Brian?
Shoot. I think it's Andy Barr. Congressman Andy Barr will be joining us next Thursday at 4 p.m. There is multiple links shared and graphics and economic impact studies. So please look at the chat, download everything. I will opine and talk longer for another minute so that everyone can download and grab all of the different things that have been dropped into the chat, the webinar chat, and you guys can save them. And Rachel, just for the heck of it, why don't we make sure after the second this call is over, we include that graphic in the email that goes out, and we also include the economic impact study, and we also include the poll. Why don't we do that? Can we do that, Rachel?
And we also say Happy Mother's Day weekend to all the mothers that are out there. Kiss your mama, tell you love her, and if you are a mom, thank you for everything you do.
Thanks, moms. I love my mom. She's an Italian. She yells at me regularly. Italian
My mom is not Catholic, but she sure does know how to put down the Catholic guilt. So, with that being said, everybody have a great weekend.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend.